Hello friends, welcome back to the Art Room with Mr. Eck. This is February, which is Black History Month, and so I wanted to make a special effort to spotlight some of my favorite African American artists. And so today we are going to be learning about a very special lady artist named Faith Ringgold. Faith Ringgold was born and raised and lived, I think, her whole life in New York City. She still lives there to this day. And she had a really cool idea for making art that is very unique. And let me show you first her picture, and then we'll look at some of her artworks. So here's a picture of Faith Ringgold in front of one of her story quilts. That is her special, unique art style that she came up with. A quilt is a blanket that's made out of little pieces of fabric, and you sew them together to make a bigger blanket. And so what she did is she would make a quilt, and then she would paint on top of the fabric. And if you look real close, these white lines, these are words. So she would actually tell a story through her artwork and with words on her quilt. Here's another one. We'll zoom in a little bit. You can see these people are flying. That's part of the story. And this is her family eating on the roof of their building. And you can see the different fabrics on the side. And I don't know the story with this quilt, but see all the beautiful patterns that she put together on the outside as a border, and then she did her artwork in the middle. And we're going to look at one more. It's the most famous one, and this is Tar Beach, which is the story of her family and their friends getting together for dinners on top of their roof. I think in the summer, if I remember right. And this is her right here with her little brother, and she would imagine that she was flying over the city. So that's her flying over the city. And then she would write down the story on these little pieces of fabric on the top border and on the bottom border. And that's originally how she told her story of Tar Beach. And then later she turned that into an illustrated children's book, which is very cool, and I highly recommend it. So now we are going to be making our own story quilts to tell your story. And this is what we're going to need. So I have cut some 8-inch by 8-inch pieces of drawing paper. It needs to be a square, so it doesn't have to be those dimensions, but it needs to be square. And then I've cut some 2-inch by 2-inch pieces of construction paper in different colors. If you're doing this lesson from home, then and if you don't have construction paper to cut, feel free to just draw squares to make a border, which is what I'm about to show you how to do. Then we're also going to need pencils and colored pencils or crayons, something to add artwork with. So let's get started. Alright, before we can start making our art, we have to make our quilt. And we're going to make our quilt with these pieces of construction paper. These are going to be our swatches, and I'm going to get some glue stick. I'm going to glue them all the way around. We're going to have a border of beautiful colors around our artwork. So I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, now that we have our quilt ready, now it's time to customize this with your story. So you're going to draw your family, or some story from your family, or your family doing the favorite thing your family does. Like maybe you like to go watch baseball games, or go camping, or go fishing, or swimming. Whatever it is your family enjoys doing, we're going to show that. I'm going to color it, draw it with pencil, color it with colored pencil, and then we're going to add decorations to the border. You can write some words in the border if you want to, but also do just some designs, some polka dots or some zigzags, or we're just trying to make this look super fancy. So I'm going to do that in time lapse to save time, and then it will be your turn to tell your story. And here is my finished story quilt. I think it turned out pretty cool. Just wanted to point out that the details on your family picture can be pretty simple because it's a pretty small picture to draw. I realized that when I was drawing. I was like, oh, I need to simplify this a little bit. But I think it turned out really good, and I like the patterns on my border. I thought about making more of a story, like writing more words, but I decided in the end just to keep it kind of simple. Dicks go camping. I think that's cool, and we do love camping. So now it's your turn. Let's build that border, draw your family doing something that you guys enjoy, and create your story quilt. Tell your story through your artwork, just like Faith Ringgold did. And I will see you guys next time in the art room.